Hello, welcome to the Poetry Foundation's annual Poetry Day reading, honoring our 2020 Ruth Lilly and Dorothy Sargent Rosenberg Poetry Fellows. My name is Alex, and I'm the events coordinator here. I'm a white cisgender man, I have blonde hair and glasses, and I'm up against a backdrop of books.
My name is Noah, and I am the events assistant. I am a white, non-binary trans person with pink hair. Today I am wearing a black shirt with playful geometric patterns on it, a purple dangling earring, my hearing aids, and my glasses. This is a relaxed space. Feel free to do whatever you need to make your body or mind more comfortable, whatever that means to you. Take a second now to make yourself 15% more comfortable.
We recognize that the Poetry Foundation building is situated on the occupied original homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and Odawa nations. Indigenous people continue to live here today, and Chicago is home to one of the largest urban Indigenous communities in the United States. Thank you, and enjoy Poetry Day.
Hi, I'm Stefania. I'm the Education and Youth Services Assistant at the Foundation, and I'll be introducing Luther Hughes. I was lucky enough to sit on the Fellowship Selection Committee, and I was really in awe of Luther's poems, and they really moved me. So I'm really excited and glad that he was ultimately chosen. Luther Hughes is the author of the poetry chapbook Touched from Sibling Rivalry Press, and is a founder of Shade Literary Arts. He earned a bachelor's from Columbia College, Chicago, and an MFA from Washington University in St. Louis, where I currently go. His poems have appeared in Poetry Magazine, Paris Review, The Rumpus, Foglifter Journal, New England Review, and Washington Square Review, Columbia Poetry Review, and elsewhere. His essays have appeared in Poetry Northwest, Hayden's Fairy Review, Seattle Times, and Winter Tangerine. In 2020, Hughes received a Ruth Lilly and Dorothy Sargent Rosenberg Poetry Fellowship from the Poetry Foundation and was a winner of the 92Y Discovery Poetry Contest. Hughes has worked as an editor for Habitat Magazine, Columbia Poetry Review, Frontier Poetry, Yes Yes Books, and The Offing, where he currently serves as executive editor. He's also a co-host of the Poet Salon podcast. He lives near Seattle. Congratulations, Luther.
Hi, my name is Luther Hughes, and I am here to read some poems for you all. Just 2 poems, though. It is February. Some odd stream of oak trees line the sidewalk like a phrase that never leaves the mind. I love you, or I have love for you. He kissed me this morning beneath the gray quilt of late winter like he loves me, and there's a difference in the work of nature today. Sometimes difference is simple, but today there's a woman at the bus stop screaming, "I hate you, you fucking nigger." I watch as sunlight crumbles against Lake Washington, watch a bird that appears at first to be a raven, but with a subtle twitch of its blouse wing turns crow as it lands next to a puddle of trash. Is the woman angry or frustrated? There's a freckling of pigeons, tired of the leftover Starbucks. There's a man grabbing the ass of another, looking at me as if I were a forest to be lost in. There's always a way hunger declares itself. Is that what it means to be Black in Seattle? Standing here admiring the rotting moan of car horns as if nothing were happening. The white man next to me looks at me and shakes his head, mouth shedding a smirk. A police car sirens a group of women not to cross, loud, red foul. If wondering, the woman is Black. Does that make a difference? On my phone, I read a caption that says, "Missed 2 but got 4. Next time they won't be so lucky." Referencing 4 birds, each shot in the head or the unseemly breast. Does knowing the birds are American crows make a difference? There's smoke climbing out the sewer. There's a child laughing or crying. In the article beneath, 14-year-old George Steiny Jr. is killed by electric chair for being accused of murdering 2 white girls. His blackness is never mentioned. This matters. It matters more than the shot crows, more than the woman who by now is so quiet, a city of her own. As I get on the bus, I wonder if she has a son. I want a son, which might be weird given I am newly in love, given that we are Black. Isn't it irresponsible to raise a child in this city of Mammoth Hills and Mount Rainier teething away at the sky? I think I will die before I get the privilege. Sometimes I slush through this city and feel like I have died already. And this will be my last poem. Passed down to my father, Luther Hughes, Jr. You see him? Dead now, you said. Her and her dead too. Your face so unchanged in the year of rain. It wasn't the year I loved a man with a head bald like yours, but after. Summer, I worked in Puget Sound and you were happy I was home. The city always told me best. Your grandfather is dead. Since you have the same name, it's safe to assume part of you is dead too. The living room never settled so kindly. On the walls, pictures of your new children who later that year refused to buy your pills. You cried on the phone to me. Sorry. The year of crying. The year of cracking into men and the men ridding themselves. I have the same name too. The year of collective dying. What I thought was mine belonged to you first. To think otherwise was daft of me. When your father died, the crows sorrowed the sky and the field lost its green heart. It was out the blue, you showing me the old photo, digging it out from a box beneath the TV. You look like him. A man told me, meaning my grandfather, meaning already faded, a sapped star. He clothed me carefully like a tradition, like a bitter chain passed down through generations. Forgive me for the meaning I make of this. You gave me a chain with your father's gold ring. It broke. I never told you. Forgive me for being careless with your mourning. Forgive my bones, my healthy little animals, for bringing his face into your house. I'm glad my dad got us out of Mississippi, you said, voice sprouting for the first time after months of surgeries. I sat, picture in hand, eyeing all the dead smiles the ground has grown tired of. The year of extreme heat, you said. You opened the back door, and the city, being merciful, gifted a breeze. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Hidalmi Noriega, and I am Director of Community and Foundation Relations at the Poetry Foundation. Physical description: I am a Black woman with her hair pulled back into a bun, wearing black framed glasses, a black blazer, and a peach scarf. Cyrée Jarelle Johnson won the 2020 Lambda Literary Award for Gay Poetry for his collection Slingshot. Johnson is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Librarian and an assistant professor at Pratt Institute, where they've provided innovative library instruction as well as developed online orientations for students. A 2017 fellow at the Incubator for Community Engaged Poets, his honors also include fellowships from Columbia University and Culture Strike.
Hi, my name is Cyrée Jarelle Johnson. Here are some of my poems. The first one is called Belial and Morningstar and Andromalius and Barakajal and Penamule and Ronob and Zegon. Everybody knows I know a secret. I have stared at windows until hands poked through, and I have nursed men left on my doorstep with stern, unshorn nipples like fraying tissue. We learned we could never go home, at least not without making pistols of ourselves. I was made to jaw on your fennel stalk. We were made and raised to raise the fallen and lift them high by their turgid taproots. Everyone's heard I saw two king snakes fuck. Everybody knows I know who gets more pleasure. The pleasure arrives for the taker who takes cacophonously, superfluously. The yes, please fuck. The no, go home finish. The yes, please fuck finish. So run home on the white bus clouded by need. Your mama wonders who's been over, says it was a black. She can smell it. Must have been that blue magic smeared over your pillowcase, my head shaped dented and scented and haunting your fingertips. Anyone but a black, she thinks. Someone pretty and black, my mother hopes. In this scene, no one gets what they have wanted. In this scene, you ash Jeeves penis envy. In this scene, you fly me to Arizona. 4 stained fingers, twist, twist inside, push, push. In every mirror, you find a demon. 4 stained fingers, twist, twist inside, push, push. In this house, there is no God but downlink. In this apartment, we take rent in rimming. In this hovel, you flash your dick on path trains. In this shack, I suck you deep on the pier. In this delusion, you kiss me in public. In this delusion, I meet your parents. In this delusion, we have soft babies. In this delusion, you keep a steady job. You are hard work. You are brute labor. You're the original sin in house paint and a tripod upon which the Pythia satin words repel you, and my tongue does not, and we become sentient and escape and string back into the Gordian knot. You oxcart king. You spike silver seller turn gold stroker in the fire and tar woods behind my house, framed in white flame. Antlers draped with tiny lights we learned were beetles. You did it. I let you, and you did it. Blood, magic, and Hennessy, I'm sorry. I promise you I paid and paid and paid with 8 years of no good dick. With violence. Blood, magic, and Hennessy, I'm sorry. If you must know I loved you in loops. First I'd puke on you, then watch you fold drawers, little squares of black in red hook houses. Daddy, I look for you in other faces changed by years of no good dick and violence. In this scene, I Google penis envy, my stern, unshorn nipples like fraying tissue. Daddy, I look for you in other faces, 4 stained fingers, twist, twist inside, push, push. You must know that I loved you in loops, blood magic, and Hennessy. I'm sorry. In this hovel, you flash your dick on path trains changed by years of no goodness and violence. In this delusion, I meet your parents, have soft babies, you keep a steady job behind our house, framed in white flame, antlers draped in tiny lights, we learned we're beetles. Everyone's heard I saw 2 king snakes fuck. Everybody knows I know a secret. This next poem is called Doppelganger. Queer utopians think human beings are perfectible, but we are not. We're just correctable. In an hourly motel, I recall that Kim Adonisio poem about tattoos and ask you how many you have, although I counted 14 every time you doze and add your spit to the mysterious stains in the pillows. But The ink proliferates in twilight's sticky gold. Is a cover-up 1 or 2 or 3 tattoos? And how many about your forced disappearances? And how many about the appearance of manhood? And how many about being a man with his face buried in pillows? A short black man hydroplaning down are impossible. I hate how much I love when you suck my toes, and I despise you for making me beg. That's why I can't know you. That's why I stay perpetually ahead of your judgment. You look just like me when I'm fucking you from behind. I'll suck that shrimp cock to the glove pop plus 1 extra wop before I figure it out. I don't know God anymore, but let's stay here on our knees and wait for him to come. This poem is also called Doppelganger. His crimes are serious. He sucked blood under his fingernails. He has winged his bony life decade through paltry decade, cruel to unjacketed children crowding the sidewalk, their elbows ashy dimes sliced in April's brick dust. His presence the last cold week, dead selves nostalgia for a stand of years as holiness forgets us. My cosmic deadbeat lover, God of circling, God desire, God of wonder where you are. Raptor pecking atop phone pole, I hope it's help for either. Oh, to be subordinate to another's hunger. Oh, to be stretched wide or grow wise. Oh, to wander away from failure into forbearing eyes. Wait nervous, but start. Face contracting to the skull dents. Flaking to a bright of scales in palm pit. Even such a handful of wonders where you are. Casualty of your slipshod trade, a buzzard, whether alone or beside me, a misfit, a bill of services, love, improves the lover and the loved. Obsession endangers the loved, erodes the lover down to nonsense, forever creeping along the borders of the hour, freeing nothing, building shrines to sackcloth, martyr to a gone emotion, oozing across now static mornings, reciting the must of your armpits, Cyrée, slough off your mania, while through the night alone. This last poem is called Magenta, and it's dedicated to my friend, Leah Lakshmi Piepsana Samar Singha. Magenta, the kind my homie Leah calls screaming vulva, a sparkler through gray hair with glint of mercury. Quickly we become elders in this city, smears our fingers like new murder. They're my mentor with Sinti Roma's Bleeding Tarot. When I was a kid, they wrote Femme Shark Manifesto. I lived a life with pink books and gem mischief. That zine was the zine that I mean when I mean the zine. It was a roll call for femme styles, pumped a saline shot of sadness, but at least there was fucking to look forward to. I wanted to grow up, then be them, then be their friend forever. Wash all their dishes, eat drying pizza out the box, so I filled 3 bags and moved to Oakland. It was blank verse for 10 months and fucking. I slept on Anna's couch as ever and wrote for weed magazines. Hot-handed roof gardens blush pink as lips the other ocean coughed out boys with limps and lisps. Prince punctuated all my trysts. I dated a cop for about 6 months, a future flush with killer's gear. He won't tell you about the rapes, but he paints and sculpts them in his face where eyebrows once were and should appear. Alas, this poem can't reinstall the skin or grow his eyebrows back again. His fetid hide has ceased to be for all of our eternities, and for this, only impotence. A poem mauve with fizzy goiter, flaccid as Pacific 6 spray spewed. A poem to coil you in fistula of yarn and stars.
Hello again, it's Noah. It is my pleasure to introduce 2020 Ruth Lilly Fellow Darius Simpson. He is a spoken word artist and teaching artist in the Bay Area. He is the winner of the 2020 Raleigh Review Poetry Prize, and he is also featured in the documentary Finding the Gold Within.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Darius Simpson, and I'm going to be sharing two poems today. I'm just going to dive right in. This first poem is called, You Know He Shot at the Police, right? For Hakeem Littleton. You know he shot at the police, right? You know he might not have had his hands up. You know he wasn't up to date on his YMCA membership. You know he did not mentor at-risk teenagers after school. You know his license was suspended and his taillights shattered. You know he wasn't wearing a lick of white when they found him, had his pants sagging, had his shirt untucked, had his lips unbuckled, dripping southern twang all on the concrete, sounded like a mouthful of honey was stuck at the top of his throat. You know he was black. Like black, like dark roast coffee beans black, like ashy knuckles cradling a bottle of wild Irish rose on the sidewalk black, like a scarecrow perched just outside the liquor store doorway black, like black tar gums and gold teeth, like paper bag hands and menthol breath, like black and mild wrappers in the glove compartment. I heard it wasn't even blood where they left him, just puddles of red Kool-Aid, just stains of strawberry pop. You know, sugar would have got him if 12 didn't. You know, his teeth were little yellowing daggers. You know, he was a dragon, returned fire, went out in a puff of smoke. You know, he was a weapon, didn't beg for his life or call for his mother or his partner. You know, that nigga went out on his feet, brought a gun to a gunfight, brought mutiny to a slave ship at the Atlantic shoreline. You know, that nigga was a nigga. And not like, ha ha nigga, not like next Democratic presidential nominee, nigga, not like run fast, jump high, nigga, like worm food covered in tree bark, like lead water clogging an artery, like dead leaves stuck in a gutter, like storm the arsenal and shoot the masters, like one of those give me liberty or give me blood types, like got the nerve to want freedom. And still y'all gonna march for him? What would Malcolm X's old zoot suit think? What would a white woman's rendition of Dr. King think? What would the noose say? What if they see us mourning and think we just as dangerous as him? What if I say liberty and they think I mean I hate America? What if I hate America but don't know no other homeland? What if America hates me back and does something about it, but doesn't leave me time to shoot first? Got to wobbling. Wobbly, wobbly, wop. All right, this next one, this last one I'm gonna do, is called If I'm Caught Between a Badge and a Hard Place. If I'm caught between a badge and a hard place, 3 hours after the streetlights turn on, will you church it? Will you pass it along pews of almost saints until it reaches the whole congregation? Will you tithe it? Will you stretch it thin like goat skin over the shell of a djembe drum? Will you slap it? Will you let the echo dance naked in the wet cave of your throat? Will you bark it? Will you sing it like my mother is listening? Will you inhale until your lungs nearly burst, then inhale some more, then and only then will you say my name? Will you put some stank on it? Will you juke joint James Brown it? Will you Jerry curl spray it? How can I rest in peace or power if you get all lazy lipped when you talking about me? Will you scoop it thick? Will you stir it slow? Will you mac and cheese it? Will you to spread the savory over your tongue? Will you let it marinate? Will you serve it with Sunday dinner? Now, if you say my name and cast iron skillets don't start to rattling, that means you ain't say it loud enough. Will you say it again? If a redwood don't split open from the trunk, that mean you ain't pronounce it right. Will you say it again? Will you redecorate a city and streams of fire after me? Will you paint downtown a scorching hue? Will you stain the sky in black smoke? Will you tell ghost stories over the ashes of this empire? Will you scream it? Will you stand in a clutter of rush hour traffic to let them know what kind of boots I wore? Will you stomp it into the soil of the last place where I laughed with my whole body? Will you dance it? Will you Saturday night praise it? Will you tambourine it? Will you drunken favorite song shout it? Will you full moon howl? Will you shriek? Will you chant? Will you live? Will you cry? Will you cry for me? Will you? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Fred Sasaki. I am a Hapa, or mixed-raced man. My hair is short and dark, and I am wearing a denim jacket on top of an oversized gray sweater. I am the exhibitions co-curator of the Poetry Foundation, where I am also the art director and interim co-editor of Poetry Magazine. It is such an honor to introduce Khaty Xiong as a recipient of a Ruth Lilly Poetry Fellowship. Khaty's work and collaboration has been deeply meaningful to me, particularly around the topic of grief. I mean a personal grief, but also a collective grief, as there is so much for us to mourn at this moment. But right now, I choose to rejoice in the force of life that Khaty brings forward in her poetry, and I just want to say thank you so much, Khaty, for your work and for your camaraderie. Khaty Xiong is the author of the poetry collection Poor Anima and the chapbooks Ode to a Far Shore, Dear Hour, and Elegies. Xiong earned a BA from Ohio Northern University and an MFA from the University of Montana. She received the Nadia Eisenberg Fellowship at the MacDowell Colony and an Individual Excellence Award from the Ohio Arts Council. She lives in Ohio. Now, here is Khaty Xiong.
Hello, my name is Khaty Xiong, and I'll be reading 3 poems. Ode to Phantoms. The bay is far from here now, as I stand in the dark corners of my kitchen, wielding a knife in adoration of the season. Sold as ever for the birdsong amid the pile of soggy wood, and now a dead uncle who has left the realm of California. I go back for the starlight lost in my father's bones. Closed in the middle country, the tiny lord of a titmouse sweeps by in the low light. I sag evenly into the blade just as safely where my eyes bloat like 2 hidden lakes, dreaming through my terrible birth. Love feigning loudest as when I first picked up a tooth from my mother's hands. I say to the fleeting song, lift this bone from slicing me open. Then in exchange for tinder to burn my way through this, my American name, and in one storming drop far from moonlight, my ears unhatching the sound of a dead name. How tame for my lover to wash in the next room as I sort my yearly ghosts in the shadows I make. To go as we do in foul marriage, and in the dream to avoid becoming carnage. How it is always sinew beneath the hair and skin, and skin, and skin. In spite of this, my heart is fresh, or am I hardly aware my father who would have me defending this body cannot purge me from this sore side of the earth. As if it were surrender to disclose the night's crime, as I make in the continuous dark the shape of my neck, the song that cannot speak with me, my lore in flesh. Dear Father who mourns on mountains in the west, I am here. Something more dangerous than a river divides us now. Something like that of your whetstone chilling in the backyard. My lungs blow up and repeat, and I am thinking of the 10,000 rubber trees you planted back in the far southeast. I am tapping tonight, and with no one to catch me. Like the boy who waged war when war claimed the oxen and tigers and blood-bursting brothers, I meet with you, son of the Kyofa. Our hair wild and permitting. Father, do you see me? I have your whetstone. The oaks in my yard stand sentry. Unbearing. In English, my mother's broken foot means broken. The clarity spelled in torn ligaments upon displaced metatarsal fracture. In one word you know the truth. In any other language you forget what you've memorized. The coroner's knife laying borders on sight. The human heart a constant geography. Bare skin still bearing. My mother cradling the broken bearing well through the night. An apology disassembling in the one true garden. When the sun finally rises, my eyes darken at the intersection. My living memories on the edge of a clearing. A lemongrass hall, the center of the arch. The wind chasing away every piece of death, including the assertion of death. Now, in a new tongue, a young bird to counter-translate all I know. Congeries of elegies defined by the length of rice grains. The first turn of phrase to go, dream far from the body. The next, a short string of pain made to divide. Forgive the forbidden. The winged messenger toiling in a yielding note, collecting and receding. All my dreams standing in the wispy grass. My small desire to break the perching foot with the yard wide enough to hide us. On praising the liver. I dip my mother's ribs in the delicious water. The perils of this translation lost in the mountains I crossed to get here, joined by herds of saula swelling through the forest. Overhead, a drowsy river of hawks sweeping in for the open burial. As if caught in a bad story, I befriend the renegade whose shadow belongs to me, and to the monkeys who've come out to take over this joyous path. They descend slowly into the springs, floating on their backs, forming a ring around the stone-prized liver. I welcome them and assign us names to protect the colony we have created from my divided grief. Then I wade into the bath, this time with mother's arms, and we hold each other tightly, hiding deep in the steam. I look into the map of her darkening liver, to find the end times blurring hastily into honey, the holes in our eyes sealing up and our mouths opening to drink our sweet luck. My thigh aching for a stretch, my heel snipped, the saula performing migration in loose script. Among the tired trees, red-bellied squirrels squirming in their nests. Midday songs coming over the crest, and for a moment the air suspending me, sewing onto mother's ear the night of our lives, the winged lords laughing at us from a safe distance. We could rule like this, merciful mother with ancient stamina lathering the side of her crown, black, starry, melodious green. Thank you.
Isabella Borgeson, a finalist for Best New Poets of 2018, was Air Serenbe's 2019 spoken word artist with a commitment to community and collaboration. Also, a 2016 fellow at the Incubator for Community Engaged Poets. Borgeson is a co-founder and organizer of The Root Slam, a free poetry venue in Oakland dedicated to promoting the artistic growth of the Bay Area poetry community and serving as an inclusive and socially just space.
Hi, thank you so much for the introduction, and appreciate everyone's grace for letting me hop on really quick to read some poems. I'll just hop into it. My mom is the person who told me to go check my email and to go read some poems real quick. So I'll do these poems for my mama in case she's able to log in from the Philippines. This poem is called Fish Hair Woman. It's after Merlinda Bobis, and it's my favorite novel, which is called Fish Hair Woman. And it's a gift from my mother. And a quote from that book goes, "A river sweet with lemongrass and breathing fireflies. How could you believe such a tale?" And I'll dedicate this poem to my mom. My teenage mama grows her hair to the backs of her ankles, strands so long they dance with the moon, split ends sweep the concrete roads clean. She unbraids her hair into black fish hooks that retrieve seashells, burns copra coconut husks, banana leaves from the mud of Sabang, and her hair is a net again, pulling yellowed moons from the mouth of the river. Maybe they are the drowned or the drowning. Maybe they are the children picked up by the wind. Their throats the most gorgeous necklace of barnacles, the hair on their stomach curled as the rambutan shell, eyes closed and unplucked, a miracle to bury our dead whole. Bent into nautilus, my mama sings a whisper just for me, Hinigugma, beloved, hold the corpse's feet to your head and ask to remember. She chants, and her hair grows long as her dreams. Before she knew of any cold country or white man's teeth, each strand pushing from scalp plants cogon grass into the mangrove. When the bottom of the ocean finally dances across our streets, its water licking at our hips, lay me back into a meadow of cicadas and wild bamboo. Remember, there are no arcs coming for our people. My mama lets down her hair, and the stomp of its weight is a gecko's song, the only protection spell surrounding our village with the whip of a stingray's tail. Idai, follow the sound of the river home until the sea is no longer a well of our town's blood, until the sea is a dance remembered. Thanks, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna read one more poem. And this poem is called Notes on Killing Cockroaches. It's also after my mom. And just a story from one time, my mom and I were killing a bunch of cockroaches in the Philippines, and she made this comment to me that even the typhoon couldn't kill the cockroaches. So this poem is about that. Notes on killing cockroaches. 1, it is nearly impossible to kill a cockroach properly. Born speck of dust, vestigial wings, a ripped joint leg regrown, decapitated, it lives a full week before dying of thirst, a full month without food. The only survivor of nuclear bombs, some say it will outlive us too. 2, Idai, bring down your slippers, help me kill the bankas in the kitchen. My mama points the length of her longest finger to show me 3 inches with wings. I come equipped with our dirtiest sandals. Stomp a thick row of carcass into the soles of our feet, counting each crunched varmint as we jump into the air, their guts splattering at our ankles. 15, 23, we laugh at our victory until mama opens the bottom cupboard and a nest swarms, hundreds of winged creatures flocking to our faces. I pull out the walk spray, a chemical sorcery I am not allowed to use in front of the children. 1 spray is equivalent to smoking a pack of cigarettes, she reminds me. But I push my index finger hard into the bottle. This is an emergency, a cockroach apocalypse, critters crawling the kitchen. I let the toxic rain over our heads, and in just 60 seconds, their hairy antennas are falling from the sky like ash. The drunken insects slow on pesticide. We pound and finish the massacre, each drop of our sweat now crawling. 3. This is from the voice of the cockroaches, in case it's not clear. 3, we have witnessed your drowning, time and time again, we who need no mouth to breathe, we who survive weeks licking the glue of a single postage stamp, we who outlive the stars, dinosaurs fall deceased at our feet, we drink the radioactive metals from your bombs, feed on the eyebrows of your sleeping children, 4,000 species written into our wings, so chop at me with your sharpest knife and watch my headless carcass crawl blind for days. Stomp me and my unborn eggs will spread across your kitchen tile. My children ready to birth themselves. We are 350 million years of sharpening teeth to bite through your coffins. So have your small victory, your merciless trample of chinelas, but remember, we live in this soil too, and we will see you in your grave. 4. Even the typhoon couldn't kill you. Day after the storm, your Tarsus legs climbed over our bodies, bloated with salt. Oh, 6-legged critter, what tricks keep your family alive today, next century? Maybe more of us could have survived the first month at least, if we too learned to regrow lost limbs, hold our breath for 30 minutes submerged in water, if Tita Alice and Uncle Eddie learned to breathe through the holes in their bodies, Oblateria of Animalia Kingdom, send back my family, their wet and hungry ghosts, teach us to wait for the water to flood out of our homes. Thank y'all so much.